Sahyadri Group of Institutions, a symbol of excellence.
Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
So, am I audible to everyone? मेरा आवाज आ रहा है कि सभी को?
हाँ सर.
Okay, ठीक है. So, in the previous lecture, so we have seen the different laws of mechanics. That is, we have seen the Newton's laws, Newton's first law, Newton's second law, and Newton's third law. So afterwards, so we have seen the law of parallelogram of forces. Afterwards, so we have also seen the triangle law of forces. So today we shall see the remaining laws of mechanics. So everyone be concentrate, and in between, if anyone is having any doubts, so you just ask me. So in between you can stop me and you can ask the doubts. So in the previous lectures, so we have seen the so we have seen the Newton's first law, so Newton's second law, afterwards Newton's third law, so we have also seen the law of parallelogram of forces and triangle law of forces. So these laws, so we have seen in the previous lecture. So today we shall see the remaining laws of mechanics. So next law in the mechanics is polygon law of forces. So this is also important to understand. So if any students, I request all the students to mute the audio.
माइक बंद कर भाई.
सभी ने आपका माइक बंद करो. सो बीच में क्या होता है, डिस्टर्बेंस होता है. ओके, सो एवरीवन टेक नोट ऑफ द सेम. सो नेक्स्ट लॉ इज पॉलीगॉन लॉ ऑफ फोर्सेस. सो इन द लॉ ऑफ पैरेललोग्राम ऑफ फोर्सेस, पैरेललोग्राम में हमने क्या देखा है? सो इफ द टू फोर्सेस acting on a body are represented in magnitude and direction by two adjacent sides of the parallelogram, then its diagonal will give the resultant. So here, so this same law, this same law concept is used in the, that is triangle law of forces. So here also we have used that law, same law, that is law of parallelogram of forces. So that's why this law is called the derived law. It means actually this law is derived from the parallelogram law of forces. Okay. So what this law states is, if many number of forces acting at a point can be represented as a sides of a polygon, then they are in equilibrium. Suppose let us say that if there are number of forces are acting in a body, so you can take this example. So here you can see. So let us say that these are the number of forces 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here you can see, so these are the number of forces F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. If number of concurrent forces, concurrent means what? If the forces are meeting at a single point. So we are going to see the different type of forces in the next slides. So if the forces are meeting at a single point, so they are called the concurrent forces. If these concurrent forces are, number of concurrent forces are whatever the acting on a body, if they represented by the polygon means it is number of sides are more than 4. If it is a 4, then it is called the parallelogram. If it is 3, then it is called a triangle. Okay. Similarly, if number of sides are more than 4, then it is called the that is polygon. So if the number of whatever the number of forces acting on a body, if they are represented by the polygon, suppose let us say 5 number of forces are acting on a body. That means each side will represent the one force. That means 5 number of forces means 5 sides of a polygon. If this polygon closes, अगर ये पॉलीगन ने ड्रॉ किया उसके बाद वो पॉलीगन क्लोज हो गया, then the body will be in a equilibrium. So equilibrium means what it is? So that either it will be at rest or it will be in uniform motion. Means it will be in a state of equilibrium. So agar suppose if the number of forces acting on a body, if you are represented by a polygon, suppose if the polygon will not close, agar close nahi hua, so that body will not be in a equilibrium. Okay, so this is the polygon law of forces. So what it states is, if many number of forces acting on a body, acting at a point on a body can be represented as the sides of a polygon, then they are in equilibrium. So means if you represent that whatever the number of forces acting on a body by a polygon, then that body will be in a equilibrium, provided so that polygon should close. So suppose polygon को draw कैसे करने का? How to draw the polygon? Forces को polygon में कैसे convert करने का? So force, suppose let us say if the force F1 is 100 kilonewton. So we have to take the scale like 10 kilonewton is equal to 1 centimeter. So like that, by taking the scale, so we can draw the polygon. So convert that force into length unit, like 10 kilonewton equal to 1 centimeter or 10 kilonewton equal to 1 mm. So whatever it is. So like that, you convert that force into length and you draw the polygon. If we draw the polygon, if it closes, then the body will be in a equilibrium. So this law is the polygon law of forces. So here you can see, so if you add the summation of all the forces, summation of forces will be equal to 0. AB plus BC plus CD plus DE plus AE, all the forces, that is F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4 plus F5. If you add all the summation of, if you add all the forces, so summation should be equal to 0. So if the summation is 0, then only we say that body is in equilibrium condition. Matlab body either it will be at rest, otherwise it will be in uniform motion. So summation of forces should be equal to 0 for the concurrent force system. So this is about the law of polygon of forces. So next is law of transmissibility of forces. So what this law states is, the state of rest or of motion of a rigid body is unaltered if a force acting on a body is replaced by another force of same magnitude and direction, but acting anywhere on the body along the line of action of the applied forces. So let us see what is the meaning of this law. Suppose let us consider one body. So this is the circular body. So initially let us consider that. So आप क्या consider करो, considering one body consider करने का. So initially let us consider that, so this is acted upon by one force, that is F. So only it is acted upon by this force initially. So you don't consider this force, just consider this force. So suppose if I replace this force by a force of same magnitude and in same direction, but along that same line of action, इसी लाइन में अगर same magnitude of forces को मैंने किधर भी अप्लाई किया तो, so its state of rest or motion of a rigid body is unaltered. उसका जो बॉडी का जो इक्विलिब्रियम कंडीशन रहता है, मे बी इक्विलिब्रियम और मे बी एट रेस्ट और मे बी इन मोशन, यूनिफॉर्म मोशन, उसका ऊपर कुछ भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. But replacement of the force should be such that it should have same magnitude, it should be along same line of action and in the same direction. So if it replace that force by this criteria, so rest or motion of the rigid body will not going to change. मतलब क्या होता है, सपोज देखो इधर फोर्स अप्लाई किया F, इस फोर्स को रिप्लेस करके, इसको निकल के अगर मैंने फोर्स इधर अप्लाई किया, देखो this force is along the same line of action of this force and also in same direction and also along the same line of this force. इसी लाइन में अप्लाई होता है, direction is also same, magnitude also same, but point of application is different. मतलब this force is acting at this point, this force is acting at this point. So here the rest of the motion will not going to change. Maybe rest will not change. Otherwise, if the body is in motion initially, uniform motion, so it will also not going to change. So that is this law. This law states that rest or state of rest or motion of a rigid body is unaltered. मतलब change नहीं होता है. If the force acting on a body is replaced by another force of the same magnitude and direction. Magnitude भी same होना चाहिए जो replace करने वाला force है, direction is also same, but acting anywhere on the body, किधर भी act हो सकता है body में, but along the line of action of the applied force. जो पहले का force का line of action है, same line of action होना चाहिए. Okay, so this is the law of transmissibility of forces. So here also one more example is given, same suppose this is a force F, this is a irregular body. So if this force is replaced by this force along same line of action, same direction, but point of application is different. So this force is acting at this point, but this force is acting at this point. So here is it will not going to change the rest or uniform motion of the body. So this is called the law of transmissibility of forces. So is it clear? So law of transmissibility of forces समझ में आया ना सभी को?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So next is Lami's theorem. So this is a very interesting theorem, and this theorem is we are going to use in many problems to solve the number of problems, especially where number of forces are equal to 3 and they should be concurrent. देखो, what this theorem states is, Lami's theorem states that if three concurrent forces, three concurrent coplanar forces, देखो इधर one force, two force and three force, all the three forces are concurrent. Concurrent means all the three forces are passing through the same point, then they are called the concurrent forces. Lami's theorem states that if three concurrent coplanar forces are acting at a point, then each force is directly proportional to the sine of the angle between other two forces. So what is its meaning is, suppose let us say this is a force A, this is a force B, this is a force C. Then how we can write in terms of equation is force A upon sine of angle between other two forces. ये दोनों के बीच में एंगल कितना है उतना, that will be equal to alpha. Suppose if this is a force A, next suppose this is a force B, is equal to this force B upon sine of angle between other two forces. मैंने अगर suppose this is A force को मैंने force B consider किया तो, so other two forces कौन सा है? So this and this. So this angle between these two forces will be beta, sine beta is equal to, suppose this is a force C upon sine of angle between other two forces. Other two forces means कौन सा है? This one and this one. So this is the angle should be equal to the gamma. So this is the Lami's theorem. So Lami's theorem states that if three concurrent coplanar forces are acting at a point, then each force is directly proportional to the sine of angle between other two forces. देखो, this is very important. Sine of angle between other two forces. जो force मैं consider करता हूँ divided by sine of angle between other two force के ऊपर लेने का, other two force के बीच का angle. So suppose this is the force A upon sine of angle between these two forces. ये दोनों के बीच में एंगल कितना है? So that will be the alpha. Next is equal to, suppose this is the force B upon sine of angle between these two forces. जो फोर्स कंसिडर किया रहता है उसको छोड़ के बाकी दो फोर्स के बीच में एंगल कितना है? So divided by, so उस एंगल को कंसिडर करने का. So similarly it is equal to the C upon sine of angle between gamma. So angle between these two forces. So this is the Lami's theorem. So what is its advantage of this theorem is, suppose if you know the angle between the forces, three concurrent forces. So suppose if you know the angle between three concurrent forces. Suppose if you know any one force, you can determine the other two forces. Okay, so this is the Lami's theorem. Okay, so next is particle mechanics. So it is having very important role in mechanics. So we need to understand what is meaning of particle. So suppose if I give the example, suppose if I am going to represent the any dimensions, like suppose if you take the example, so if I want to mention the distance between Pune and Mumbai. So in actual representation, so I am not going to draw the Pune and Mumbai. So what I am going to do is, so I am going to show the Pune as one point, Mumbai is another point. And then I am going to show the distance between Pune and Mumbai. So here what I am doing is, so I am representing the one city by a single point. So sometimes it is not necessary to show the complete object. So instead of that, we can show that object by a single point. So that is about the particle mechanics. So here you can see, treating a rigid body as a particle, so which is negligible in size when compared to the study involved. So best example is studying the arbitrary motion of the earth. जो अर्थ का जो रोटेशन होता है सराउंड द सन, so that also we consider it as a particle. So particle is revolving around the sun. So wherever the actual size of the body is, sometimes it is not necessary to show on the representation. Representation करने के टाइम पे पूरा बॉडी को शो करने का कभी-कभी जरूरत नहीं रहता है. So in that cases, so we can show the complete body or object by a single point. So that is called the particle mechanics. So here you can see the example figure. So this is the sun. So this is the earth. So while we are studying about this motion of this earth surrounding the sun, so we consider this earth as a one particle. So this is about the particle mechanics. So we are also in mechanics while solving the problems. So we are going to consider many objects as a single point, so that it will save the time while solving the problems. So next is system of forces. So we are going to classify this system of forces into different categories. So this is the structure that shows the different how the forces are classified. This first of all, system of forces. Forces are classified into mainly two categories. One is coplanar and other one is non-coplanar. Coplanar means it is a 2D forces. So 2D forces means, so where we are going to represent the forces on the 2D surfaces like blackboard. So in detail we are going to see one by one. So just here I am going to show you the classification. So forces are mainly classified into coplanar and non-coplanar, means 2D and 3D. Again coplanar forces are classified into concurrent and non-concurrent. Again same, here also 3D forces are classified into concurrent and non-concurrent forces. Again non-concurrent forces are classified into parallel and general forces in case of the coplanar forces, and also in case of the non-coplanar forces, again non-concurrent forces are classified into parallel and general force systems. So this is the classification of force system. So let us see one by one, so in detail. Coplanar concurrent. Coplanar means you should think that, so these forces can represent on the 2D surfaces like blackboard. So 3D force means non-coplanar means, so it is a space means where it is not possible to represent the forces on a blackboard. So coplanar means forces should be on a single plane. Non-coplanar means forces should not be, otherwise you can say forces are on the different planes. So let us see one by one. So you can see this figure. So here these are the forces, that is coplanar concurrent forces. So here you can see, so these are the coplanar. Concurrent means the forces should meet at a single point. So here this is the point where all the forces are meeting. So force 1, force 2 and force 3. These three forces are called the concurrent forces because these three forces are meeting at a single point. So next is coplanar parallel forces. So coplanar parallel forces means the forces are on the single plane, but they are parallel to each other. You can see, so force on this rod, force on this rod, force on this rod, they are parallel to each other. They are on the single plane and also parallel to each other. They are called the coplanar parallel force systems. So line of action of forces should be parallel to each other. So next is coplanar collinear forces. So you can see this is the best example, that is tug of war, where we are going to pull the particular, what you can say, the rope by two group of peoples. So on the opposite sides means whatever the force here it is, force is passing through the same line of action. Whatever the force pulling by this person, whatever the force pulling by this person, and whatever the force pulling by this person, तीनों का जो force है, that forces should pass through the single point, sorry, same line of action. So if the forces are passing through the same line of action, then that forces are called the coplanar collinear forces. So next is non-coplanar concurrent. So here you can see, so this is some object, so that is lifting by some helicopter, or you can say some other object, some other instrument. So here the forces on this rope, so this is tied by using the 3 ropes, so it is lifting from the ground. So here the forces are not in the single plane, they are in the different plane, but they are passing through the single point. If the forces are passing through the single point, they are called concurrent. If the forces are in the same plane, they are coplanar. But if the forces are in different plane, they are called the non-coplanar. So here the forces are in different plane. So that's why these forces are called the non-coplanar concurrent forces. So this is about the force system. So different forces. So you need to understand. So in simple terms, I will explain you once again. So you need to keep in mind that concurrent means passing through the single point. Coplanar means it is forces should be on the single plane. So if they are on the different plane, so they are non-coplanar forces. So again, parallel forces means, so line of action of all the forces are parallel to each other. So if they are not parallel, then they are called the general force systems. So this is about the system of forces. So anybody is having any doubts?
Sir, parallel is called general.
So 1 minute, just. Okay, so anybody is having any doubts? So if you're having any doubts, let me know. So अगर किसी को कुछ डाउट्स है तो पूछ सकते हैं. सर एक मिनट. सर इसको अटेंडेंस कैसे कन्वर्ट रिकॉर्ड
स्क्रीनशॉट ले सकते हैं क्या? कितना? 51.
ओके, किसी को कुछ डाउट्स है तो पूछ सकते हैं. तो अगर आपको समझ में आया क्या सभी को?
सर एक डाउट है.
हाँ बोलो.
Concurrent and non-current, parallel and general. Parallel is general, sir.
पैरेलल इज नॉट ए जनरल फोर्स. अगर सपोज समझे कि कौन सा भी फोर्स सिस्टम, एनी फोर्स सिस्टम, इफ नॉट कम्स अंडर द कंकरेंट एंड पैरेलल, तो उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? उसको जनरल फोर्स सिस्टम बोलते हैं.
Okay, sir.
हाँ. So if the forces meeting at a single point, that is concurrent. If the line of action of forces is parallel to each other, then it is parallel force system. अगर कौन सा भी फोर्स सिस्टम ये दोनों का इसमें नहीं आता तो so that is the general force system. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So अगर दूसरे को किसी को डाउट है?
कैसे करना है? डाउनलोड करना. पार्टिसिपेंट्स है ना, डाउनलोड करना. पार्टिसिपेंट्स है. दिख रहा है. स्क्रीन रिकॉर्डर ना, तो ओपन पहला.
ठीक है सर. Okay, so I hope that no one is having any doubts. So I'm now going to sign off. Okay, so thank you all. See you in the next lecture.
वो ये हो जाएगा फिर. किया क्या होगा?